Hey Shane, what you got there?
Oh, hey Corey. I'm just playing with this little hammer. Pretty neat to think how just two pieces of wood can make such a cool little thing.
Well, today you're in luck. We're looking at the cabinet and furniture making program, so maybe you'll actually be able to learn how to make that.
I really hope so, because it's Learn This!
On today's show, we'll be going into the cabinet making and furniture program here at Algonquin College. Watch as we explore inside the workshop and go in depth to see what they do on a regular basis. We'll also go around to campus to talk to some random students about carpentry and an interview with student Matt Polson and an in-studio demonstration to showcase something that he's working on in class. Let's learn this.
I'm your host, Corey Whippler, and on this episode of Learn This, we'll be exploring the exciting world of woodworking.
And I'm Shane Hunter. That sounds awesome, Corey. I heard the ladies love a man who know how to work their wood.
You got that right, buddy. This show might just teach you a thing or two.
I really hope so, because I'll actually be able to fix that busted bookshelf that my girlfriend keeps bugging me to.
Guess the old saying, duct tape fixes everything, doesn't apply here today. These guys will show us how it's really done.
Speaking of these guys, why don't we take a look at what it's like to be a student in the cabinet and furniture making program.
Roll the tape, boys.
This two-year program prepares students in the cabinet making and woodworking industry. All practical classes take place in the new state-of-the-art ACE building. The workshop is complete with industry-standard equipment where students have access to the best tools. This program is well suited for students who enjoy a hands-on approach, are attentive to detail, can work independently, have good hand-eye coordination and manual dexterity. Graduates may find employment in furniture and cabinet making, furniture repair, refinishing and restoration, as well as the sales of furniture, tools, hardware, and machinery.
Wow, great stuff. Now joining us is Matt Polson, a student in the program here to answer some questions about his background and how he got enrolled in the program. Welcome, Matt. How are you doing today?
Great, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad, and I see you've got one of your amazing projects here. You make this in the program?
Yeah, this is a nightstand we did in the program. It was probably the third project we did. I'm pretty pleased how it turned out. It's
Wow,
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Beautiful. So how long have you been in the program?
I've been in the program since September. It's a 2-year program condensed into 1 year. So we go from September to August, so it's just quick.
Full year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. So what was it that you would say first attracted you to want to take this program?
I used to be in engineering, and I really liked that at first, but then over time it just became very theoretical, and I couldn't see myself working behind a desk. I wanted to be out there creating with my hands, getting dirty.
Interesting. And how many hours a week do you get to sit down in class and construct something?
In the shop?
Yeah.
In the shop, we have 12 hours a week. But then there's other groups, there's 3 groups of us, there's other groups that have other allotted time slots, and the teachers are great that we can go into any time slot we want. So I'm in the shop about 20 hours a week.
Oh, cool.
Dedication.
So would you say that this is something that you want to do for a living, or if so, when did you decide that?
Absolutely. I definitely can't see myself doing this. I really enjoy working with people. I would love to talk to a customer and get their ideas and create something for them.
Cool.
Well, that's some pretty interesting stuff. And is it something that you've always wanted to do?
I wouldn't say I've always wanted to do it. I didn't really know what I wanted to do at one point, so I took a year off, just worked, and then decided, you know what, I really do like woodworking. I like working with people, so I thought I'd give it a shot, and I love it.
Cool. So what are some qualities that you would say a prospective student would need to have in this program?
You definitely have to be patient. Patient for sure, because it takes a long time to go from that just raw wood, just that pile of wood, to a finished project like this one.
Yeah.
So you don't really see a whole lot of progress until the very end. It's just pieces, 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 and then all of a sudden it just turns into a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So, and then I'd also say physically fit, because we're sanding a lot.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what would you say so far being in the program is your proudest moment? You were saying backstage that you were in a skill competition?
Yeah, so we had an in-school skills competition where all the cabinet makers kind of competed, and we had to build a little box, and I was fortunate to win that. So now I'm going on to the Ontario Skills Competition, and training for that right now with one of the teachers. I'm really excited.
Wow, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's cool. So what were you hoping to do after this program? Do you have any future ambitions or goals?
Eventually I'd like to own my own shop, but there's so much to learn. So I would like to work under a master craftsman in Ottawa and maybe Toronto, learn from them for a couple of years, and then eventually own my own shop.
Wow, seems
Cool.
like you're pretty passionate about this kind
Yeah.
of thing. And what would you say is your biggest inspiration?
I would say my grandpa. As I was younger, we used to go to Lee Valley, check out the tools, and then we'd go to my cottage, do crown molding, make benches, that kind of thing.
Wow, and thank you so much for the insight on your program, Matt. Unfortunately, we've run out of time for our interview, but stay right there because we've got Matt doing a live demonstration right here in studio.
Yes, ladies, there will be wood. Let's take a look at what some of Matt's classmates think about the program.
I personally like making small projects. There's a lot of opportunities for that here because there's lots of scraps everywhere.
My favorite thing to build would be the projects themselves. I had a lot of fun building our toolbox because from start to finish, you got to cut your own dovetails.
Oh, I really like carving because I find it's very intricate. It's fun to do dovetails and stuff like that, but I find working with little pieces and carving them with a chisel or a little knife is a lot of fun.
Really into building benches. Probably an end table. It's probably pretty simple.
I like to build tree houses.
Shop class by far, yeah.
Shop class, hands down.
Definitely shop class. It's fun. We're in here for 4 hours and time goes by super fast.
It's probably, wood shop.
Achieving success in the 21st century.
Any of the classes that have online work.
We had an English class. I took this because I don't like English, so English class was not fun. I hate essays, so.
You got to be dedicated. If you like what you're doing here, you're going to have a great time. If you don't, you're going to have a bad time. So make sure you enjoy it.
Just do your assignments. Don't leave them till last minute. Get them done as soon as you get them. And if you really enjoy your program, start to look to the future. Start to tool yourself up while you're in school. You get a lot of discounts, and just have fun.
I have a lot of respect for the teachers because they work in the field. So I would say just listen to everything they have to say because they know a lot.
Just work hard and be as accurate as you can.
As promised, we've got Matt to do a live demonstration. So here you're going to be showing us something that you've learned in class this year.
Yeah, I was thinking I would show you guys how to make dovetails. So dovetails is a little better way to join wood than duct tape.
You know what, duct tape is amazing and you can't hate on it. It has its purposes.
I agree it has its purposes, but I think this looks just a little better.
You can get different colors and decorate it though, so I'm still going to go with duct tape, red, green and all.
So actually I brought a piece down here
Okay, let's take a look.
so you can actually see the dovetails on the side there. So this was a project we did in class. So there's dovetails on the whole side of the box and on all the drawers. So that's just
that's-
one application you can use dovetails for.
That's gorgeous, yeah.
So I'll show you how we do
Let's
it.
see how we do this.
So first thing you do is you need your pieces of wood to be square. So what that means is I use my combination square and I just check all the corners are at 90 degrees. So it's nice and square.
Okay.
Once that's good, I set up my marking gauge.
And what
And
is this for?
this is to scribe a line in the wood. So that determines the depth of my tails and my pins. Those are the two pieces.
So that's where you're going to be cutting to.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to take my marking gauge and I'm going to scribe a line in there. So I'm not sure if you can see that,
Yeah,
but
I can see that right there.
there's
Yeah,
a little
that's
line
nice.
there. And then what I do is I actually have to determine where I want my tails and my pins. So there's actually a lot of math in this. I use this sliding T-bevel, it's called. So there's actually, it's set at a certain slope. Its rise over run is 1 in 6. So you remember?
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
You remember that
from
stuff?
math.
Okay. So what I'll do is now I use my marking knife and I start laying out the tails and the pins. So just to make it a little quicker, I'll show you. When that's done, that's how it's going to look.
Okay.
So I put X's where I have to remove all the material, and then the solid pieces are obviously going to be. So I'll show you how I cut it.
Okay, sounds good. But wait, before we start cutting, what's the first step?
Safety first.
Safety first. So we got to put the safety glasses on.
On. Good.
All
So
right, perfect.
this is actually a Japanese dovetail saw.
Okay.
It's made specific for this purpose. So I'll show you. I'm going to cut just on the outside of that line there.
Okay, sounds good. Oh wow, look at that. You're doing a pretty good job of cutting there.
And right down to the line.
I guess that's where the practice kind of comes in.
Yeah,
eh?
practice makes perfect. I have cut myself and I have. I'm okay, don't worry.
Sounds like it'll be very fun.
There. So you can see I kind of try to stay as close to the line as possible.
Yeah.
Don't want to go over line. And actually, once you've done that, it'll look like that. So see,
Yeah, you've got the little cuts in there, and
Mm-hmm.
then why do we do that again?
because then I want to remove the waste. I want to remove.
Okay.
I want to remove all that waste. So actually, if you want to take that apart for me, I'll show you. So I'll start removing the waste here. I use my chisel. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So
There you go.
that's how I want it to look in the end.
So when you get your chisel out and you've knocked all the waste out, this is what it's supposed to
That's
look
what
like.
it's going to look like.
So which one would you want to do first? This kind or
The
those ones?
pins. So these are called the pins, and those are called the tails. You can see they look like
Yeah,
tails,
they look
right?
like tails a little bit.
Dovetails.
That's correct.
So I'm going to do these ones first, and then I want to remove all the waste. So I'll show you now how do I remove the
Okay.
waste. So I take my chisel, and I put it in that area where there's the waste,
Okay.
and I'll just start whacking it.
Wow, that's a loud sound, eh?
Yeah, safety glasses are important.
Yeah,
that's
really,
for
because
sure.
there's chips flying everywhere in here.
So there you go.
Oh wow, look at that, nice clean. I mean, you got to clean it up a little bit.
Clean it
more,
up a little bit, but I right down to the bottom, right down to the line.
Okay, right on.
So
Awesome.
eventually, after I've cleaned out the other ones, it's going to look
something like that.
something like that. So I've cleaned that
It's a
up,
little
made
bit
sure everything's
cleaner, yeah. Okay,
everything's
right on.
square, and that's all done. You got to make sure you use a sharp chisel. Sharp chisel will
What
actually
happens if you use a dull chisel?
it'll chip a lot more, and it won't actually cut. It'll kind of tear, so there'll be fibers all over the place.
Yikes, that doesn't sound
Yeah.
very good for the project.
So once I've done that, I actually have to lay out my tails. So I don't do them separately. I want to make sure that it fits exactly. So what I do is I actually take my tails and I'd put them on a board,
And you
and
draw them out?
and then I'd use that marking knife again, and I would draw out all of my tails.
Well, sorry we're running out of time here, Matt. I would like to thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully our viewers at home will be able to take something away from this episode. I know I will.
I wish we had more time. That was such an eye-opener, Matt. Who knew how much detail went into such a small product?
Who knows, Shane? Maybe one day you'll be able to make something as nice as this.
Yeah, then my girlfriend would definitely appreciate me a little more. Well, unfortunately, this episode concludes our series of Learn This, but stay tuned next year as we will bring some new faces and more exciting programs.
If there are any questions that didn't get answered today, feel free to check out the Algonquin College website for more information on this program and many others.
From all of us here at Learn This, I'm Shane Hunter.
And I'm Corey Whippler. Thanks for learning this.